The world we live in is one of false divisions of race, creed, ideology, and religion. And as such, breaking these boundaries will require an enlightened global population with values and culture that promote togetherness.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has called on the Global South to unite in their own interests and in the face of continued failure of the richer nations of the world to adequately address climate justice and reparations for poorer countries who pay a disproportionate price for the profits rich nations enjoy.
This may sound like wishful thinking, but I'm convinced that no one in this world has to be poor if global resources are efficiently used and utilized. We live in a world of stark contrasts and unnecessary poverty, hardships, and conflict. We can overcome the pain and suffering of many if we accept that change is necessary and the world must pursue a new agenda. We in the South can be pioneers of that agenda.
At the Vetos Forum in Morocco last week, the Prime Minister's wish list included some lofty goals, some out of reach, but all within reason.
That the world commits to stronger joint cooperation. 2, a United Nations Security Council where there are no veto powers and where the vote of the majority will prevail. 3, that the developed world might realize that a more equitable share of world resources and a lesser gap between the rich and poor is in everyone's best interests. 4, a world economic and financial system that understands the vulnerability of microstates like St. Lucia and understands that the conventional means that measure economic activities are not adequate for their loan financing needs. 5, spending less on weapons and more on global growth and poverty reduction will make the world a safer place for all.
Prime Minister Pierre also targeted the warmongers and weapons dealers of the world for criticism.
That all countries in the world commit to phasing out its nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction. 7, that countries commit to continuous dialogue and pursue policies that do not promote discrimination on the basis of religion, race, creed, gender, and the digital divide.
He also called for advanced economies to pursue policies that improve the quality of life for all, especially the 1.1 billion people who live in acute poverty, and for world leaders to not go further down the path of using divisiveness, sexism, and racism on their path to power. For Choice News Now, I'm Jason Seaflay.